Hello students, a very good morning to all. So in continuation with our last lecture where we were discussing there with the shapes of different types of orbitals. In this lecture we'll be continuing with that topic and we'll further discuss the Aufbau and Pauli's exclusion principle, and the third will be Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So let's get started. So we discussed about the shapes of the s orbitals, and now we'll start with the shapes of p orbitals. For p orbitals, the value of L is 1, and the possible values of m for the value of L as 1 are -1, 0, and 1. So there are three values. That means there are three possible orientations, and three possible orientations for p orbitals are designated by px, py, and pz. So these are the three different orbitals for p subshell, and these three orbitals are represented as shown below. These three orbitals have same energy, so they are, whenever we write these three orbitals, we write them as together because they are having equal energy and they just differ in their orientation in three-dimensional space. Say we have a three-dimensional space where these are the three Cartesian coordinates. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the z-axis. So for 2px orbital, the electron density is present in the form of a dumbbell shape, as we already know that for p orbital, electron density has dumbbell shape wherein two lobes, each symmetric about particular axis, is present. So there are two lobes present around the x-axis in case of 2px orbital. For the 2p orbital, there are two lobes present with electron density symmetrical about the y-axis, and for 2pz, we have a dumbbell shaped electron density present as symmetric around the z-axis. Here we can see these symbols, the sign written inside the lobes, that opposite lobes have opposite signs. These signs have nothing to do with the electron density. It doesn't mean that here electron density is in negative, or here electron density is less, or here electron density is more, or vice versa. But it just means that this represents the direction, this represents the angular part. This thing we'll be discussing in detail later, that this represents the angular part. This is a sign of the angular part where it shows that it has electron density in the negative x direction and it has electron density in the positive x direction. Just the direction is the main purpose for showing this positive negative sign here. So these are the features of p orbitals. So p orbitals have two lobes presenting electron density in particular direction separated by a plane having zero electron density. So here we talk about angular node. Here we'll talk about angular node. Angular nodes, number of angular nodes are equal to L value. L value for p orbital is 1. So there will be one angular node present. Angular node here present, which will be in zy plane for 2px orbital. That means a plane which is separating these two lobes and is lying in zy plane. Here for 2py orbital, the plane will lie in zx plane, and for 2pz orbital, the plane will lie in xy plane. So this represents the angular node, and both the lobes are having opposite sign with no relevance to electron density, as both lobes have equal electron density. This we have already discussed. P orbitals have one angular node passing through nucleus, or we can say it is present in between the two lobes. Higher p orbitals, that is for n values of 3, 4, and 5, and furthermore, have similar shapes with bigger sized lobes on each side, and with n minus l lobes. That means each lobe will be separated by a node, and these nodes are radial nodes which are spherically symmetrical. Here one thing is to be noted, that these radial nodes are always spherically symmetrical. In the s orbitals we have seen that s orbitals were spherically symmetrical and the nodes were also spherically symmetrical. Here p orbitals are not spherically symmetrical, but the nodes are as such present. These are spherically symmetrical. These are present in all the three directions. So for 2px orbital, for 2px orbital there will be no node, and for 3px orbital the radial node will be present like a spherical shell around the nucleus, which is cutting each lobe from in between. Also, for 4px orbital, such spherical shells will be present, which will be showing the region of zero probability in both the lobes. And also here we can see that the size of 2px orbital is smaller in comparison to the 3px orbital, which is further smaller in comparison to the 4px orbital. This is based upon the value of principal quantum number, that is n. The number of as we increase the value of n, there is the size of principal quantum number increases, because the size of the shell depends upon the principal quantum number. So for p orbitals, for all the p orbitals, whether it is 2p orbital, 3p orbital or 4p orbital, number of angular nodes are going to be 1. That is, it is independent of the value of n. But the number of radial nodes are going to vary based upon the value of n, and the number of radial nodes are given by n minus l minus 1, and number of high probability regions are given by n minus l. So for 3p orbital there are 2 high probability regions, and for 4p orbital there are 3 high probability regions based upon the formula n minus l. Now we come to d orbital. D orbital has, for d orbital we have the L value as 2. For 5 possible values for m would be there for L value of 2. That means -2, -1, 0, +1 to +2. So these are the 5 d orbitals which are named as dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. For dxy orbital, it has 4 lobes. Here we can see it is double shaped. These orbitals are double shaped d orbitals. So these are having 4 lobes for dxy. The 4 lobes are present in between the x and y axis. So they will be present in the xy plane of the three-dimensional space. And for dyz, the electron density, the dumbbell shape, is oriented in the yz plane. And for tzx, the electron density is oriented in the zx plane. And for x square minus y square, the electron density is present along the x-axis and the y-axis. 4 lobes are there. And for for dz square orbital, electron density is present along the z-axis, and a spherical ring of electron density high probability region is present in the xy plane around the single dumbbell of z-axis. So now coming to the features, dxy, dyz, dzx each consist of 4 lobes with high electron density lying in the xy, yz and zx planes respectively. Lobes actually lie at 45 degrees to the axis. So this we have already discussed, that these lobes lie at 45-degree angle. That means these are in between the axis because they are present in the plane. Here also the opposite lobes have same sign, and the here this is negative, this is negative, and here we can see that for d orbitals the opposite lobes are same sign. This will be discussing after few minutes in the video. And for p orbitals, opposite lobes have opposite sign, but for d orbitals opposite lobes have same sign. The reason for this will be discussing in few minutes. So for dx square and dx square minus y square, there are 4 lobes with electron density oriented along the x and y axis. For dz square, it consists of it consists of 2 lobes around the z-axis, which are symmetrical around the z-axis, and a ring of high electron density in the xy plane. D orbitals have the value of L as 2, so 2 angular nodes will be there. 2 angular nodes will be present as 2 perpendicular planes as this, which are present say we have shown here for dx square minus y square, it has two nodal planes in between the two axes, and for the xy orbital, the nodal planes are present along the x and y axis. So for dxy, these planes are along the x and y axis. For dyz, it will be along the y axis and z axis, and for the yz orbital, it will be along z axis and y axis. For higher orbitals, for higher d orbitals, like if we see for 4d orbitals here, the number of angular nodes and the shape of the and the position of angular nodes are going to be same. Just a spherical shell which represents the radial node will be present, because radial nodes are always spherically symmetrical. They are present at a particular distance from the nucleus, that is radial. That is why they are called as radial nodes, because these are spherical in shape. So this will be present, and the size of 4d orbitals are always bigger than 3d orbitals based upon the value of n is increasing, on which the radius of the shell depends. Now coming to the shape of f orbitals, for f orbitals value of L is 3. There will be 7 possible values of m for L value of 3. So there will be 7 orientations in space, possible orientation in space for f orbitals. So there are 7 f orbitals. The shape of f orbitals is a bit complicated. It is difficult to draw here on the two-dimensional space, and you will never be asked to draw the f orbitals. But the formula which we have applied for the high probability region, number of nodes, both radial and angular, are going to be same. So for f orbitals, number of angular nodes are going to be 3 always, and for number of radial nodes, the formula is n minus L minus 1, and for high probability region, the formula is n minus L. So next we have signs of wave function, which we were just discussing. So for s orbital, the sign of the wave function is always positive, as these are spherically symmetrical. For p orbitals, we have already discussed that it is just the sign of the axis, that electron density is along the x-axis, and it represents the positive x direction, and it represents the negative x direction. Now coming to d orbitals, okay, it is dxy orbitals where electron density is present in between the axis, that is at 45 degree to x-axis and at 45 degree to y-axis. So here opposite lobes are given positive sign, and these opposite lobes are given negative sign. So here we can say that in this quadrant of the, if we consider it as Cartesian coordinates, and we see this quadrant of this two-dimensional space where the electron density is present. So here the value of x is positive and value of y is positive. So electron, the sign of the direction is going to be positive, and here y is positive and x is negative, as this orbital is formed by the multiplication of these two values of x. So here the sign is negative. Coming to the third quadrant, this is y is also negative, x is also negative. So multiplication of both will give us positive, and here y is negative and x is positive, and multiplication of both will give us negative sign. Now let us talk about, similar is the case with the yz and the zx orbitals, where positive, negative are just representing the directions. So here this orbital is formed by dx square minus y square. So for dx square, it is along the x-axis, and x is it is in the form of square. So along the x-axis, the sign is always positive, as positive plus square of anything is always a positive. Here along the y-axis, it has been written as negative sign. Here this depends upon the name of the orbital, where negative of y square is written. So whatever be the value of y, whether it is minus or positive or negative, the square is always positive, and there is negative sign associated with this square. So the value is always going to be negative along the y-axis. Again, I would like to mention here that it has nothing to do with electron density. Electron density is similar in all the 4 lobes, but it has just to do with the angular part. Now coming to the z square, Actually, the dz square orbital has been formed from the linear combination of dz square minus x square and dz square minus y square orbitals. Both the orbitals have combined in a linear combination and we have got this orbital. So based upon this, z square in both the names are is positive square and positive. So in both the lobes pointing in the z direction are going to be positive, and in the xy plane it has been marked as negative because the negative sign is associated with the x and the y in the names of which it has dz square is the linear combination. So based upon this, the signs have been assigned to different lobes. Next we have energy level diagrams. Now for this thing we have discussed in the priorly that for hydrogen atom, which is a one electron system, that means hydrogen and hydrogen like orbit atoms which are having single electron, which are single electron species, the level of energy depends upon the value of n. So as the value of n increases, energy increases. As we know, for n is equal to 1, there is just one possible orbital, that is 1s. For n is equal to 2, two types of orbitals are there, 2s and 3, 2p orbitals. For n is equal to 3, 3s, 3p, 3p orbitals, and 5 3d orbitals are there. For n is equal to 4, 1 4s, 3 4p orbitals, 5 4d orbitals, and 7 4f orbitals are there. So energy of these all orbitals is same for single electron species, and these are at same level for single electron species. That means energy is just dependent upon the value of n. As the value of n increases, the energy is increasing. This represents the increasing energy as we move from lower value of n to higher value of n, and the energy levels are independent of the value of L. Whatever be the value of L, if value of n is same, that means all the orbitals will be considered at same energy level. Next we have multi-electron systems. In case of multi-electron system, there was a difference. The energy levels were not same, and now the energies of the orbital are also dependent upon the values of L, and more the value of L, greater would be the energy. So in the multi-electron systems, the energy of the orbitals was found to follow this order. That is 1s, then 2s orbital is having higher energy, then 2p is having higher energy than 2s, further 3s, 3p. Here we can see that 3d is having higher energy in comparison to 4s. So why this happens? This is based upon this observation that there was large energy difference between higher values of there was large difference in the energy of for same value of n, the difference in the energy of s and p was very less. S and p orbitals were closely spaced for different for same values of n, but the difference in energy of p and d orbitals and p and f orbitals is very large. So due to this reason, what happens is the higher L values of lower n value, that is if we talk about it is the here n value is smaller for 3d orbital and L value is smaller for 4s orbital. So due to this reason, sometimes 3d orbital has larger energy in comparison to 4s orbital. So here same thing is happening, that 3d orbital is having higher energy than 4s. Again 4d is having higher energy than 5s. This is explained on the basis that this is explained by Poher-Bury rule that the value of n plus L is higher for the orbital, that orbital is having higher energy. Let us see the value of n plus L for 3d and 4s. Here n is 3, L is 2, and here n is 4 and S is L is 0. So that means it is having n plus L value of 5 and it is having n plus L value of 4. So that means it is having higher energy. So this problem was further solved by Bohr-Bury in his n plus L rule, which is also uh, which is called as n plus L rule. So based upon this, the energy levels were explained, the order of energy levels were explained. So if we want to compare any two orbitals based upon the n plus L value, we can arrange them in the particular energy order. So why, next question is why the difference in energy pattern of hydrogen and multi-electron system is there? Why there is difference between single electron species and multi-electron species? So this is based upon the screening or shielding effect. Actually, in case of hydrogen atom, there is one electron, there is just one electron, and in case of multi-electron system, the number of electrons in the different orbitals are there, number of electrons are there. So the outer electrons will feel the nuclear pull, the attraction by the nucleus differently based upon the shielding or screening of the nuclear strength done by the inner orbitals, or we can say electrons present in inner orbitals. So the screening or shielding effect depends upon nuclear charge. More the nuclear charge, more is going to be the nuclear pull. Principal level, energy level, that means how far the electron is present from the nucleus. How many energy levels are present in between the nucleus and how many electrons are present in between the nucleus and the last electron which we are talking about. The presence of electron in the lower energy levels, what they do is they screen the nuclear pull, and the Z effective which is felt now by the outer electrons is different which is felt by the inner electrons. So for the calculation of Z effective, that is effective nuclear charge, was calculated based upon Slater's rule, which explained us how to calculate the screening constant, that is how much screening is exhibited by inner electrons and how much nuclear pull, how much nuclear pull is reduced than the actual nuclear charge, and that the actual nuclear pull experienced by the outer electrons. So this is why there is difference in energy pattern of hydrogen and multi-electron system based upon the Z effective values, and the Z effective depends upon the nuclear charge, principal energy level, and third is the shape and orientation of different types of orbitals. The shape and orientation can affect the nuclear effective nuclear charge based upon the fact that the screening exhibited by s orbital is much more in comparison to p orbitals, and p orbitals, the screening exhibited by p orbitals is much more in comparison to the d orbitals. So that is why while plotting the radial probability curves, we were starting the curve from a bit distant for higher L valued curves from the nucleus. So next we have electronic configurations of the atom. The electronic configuration of the atom, the distribution of electrons in different orbitals is known as electronic configuration. The orbitals are represented as circles or squares, and in between, inside these circles or squares would represent the electrons present, and electrons are shown to be present having opposite spin. This is already we have discussed based upon the Pauli's exclusion principle that no two electrons can occupy the same orbital with same spin. They must have the opposite spin. So the opposite spin is represented by the upward pointing arrow and the downward pointing half arrows. The energy for the orbitals was decided based upon the n plus L rule, but it is a tedious task to calculate the n plus value for all the orbitals and arrange them in order if we are talking about higher atomic number species. So for this, Bohr came up with a solution. He came up with a construction method which he called as Aufbau's principle. Aufbau is a German word which is the native language of Bohr, as if he was a German national. So which means construction. So based upon the n plus L rule and Slater's rule, given which gives us the value of Z effective, he gave this construction method, which based upon which we can easily arrange the energy levels for different orbitals. Here, what we do is we write all the s orbitals starting from 1s, possible orbitals we have to write. That is, for s orbital, principal quantum number starts from 1 to s. For p orbitals, we have started from 2p, 3p, 4p. These we have to write in columns. This column is for d orbitals, this column is for f orbital, and we have to write from upward to downward with increasing value of n. And in each row, the value of n is same. So what we'll do is now, we'll start from this, we'll start making downward pointing arrows. This is the first orbit, this is the second orbit, this is the second orbital. So we are starting from the lower energy orbital, that is first orbital is 1s, then comes 2s, then comes 2p, then on my way there is 3s, then I'll go again to the back, and now I'm coming to 3p. On my way 4s is coming, now I'll again go back. Now on my way is 3d, 4p. So this is the sequence of energy levels which is based upon Aufbau's principle for multi-electron system. This is how the energy of different orbitals vary in this order. So this was explained by Bohr. Based upon this principle, we'll be doing the electronic configuration of different elements. The electronic configuration we'll be discussing in the next video. So that is it for this video. I hope you have found it interesting. So that is it for today. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.